Okay, I'd like to officially welcome all of you to another one of our co-founder trainings we do on Mondays and Thursday. This is our Thursday edition on July 3rd, 2025. And I'm excited to be with all of you here. We got a global cast here of people that have joined us on this live Zoom call. We're glad that each of you have chosen to spend a little time with us today. I see our numbers are growing, and I love that. It's good to see that. All right, we were just watching a couple of videos. One that came from a channel that I think is a great channel. It's called Next Level Soul, right? Next Level Soul, and the guy being interviewed on there, he's a former, well, I don't even know if he's former, but he's an actor, comedian slash, you could call him a philosopher if you want to call him that. But he's got some very deep insights on life and how to handle money, all kinds of things. So that I pinned up that broadcast onto the Telegram group, the Wall of Joy. So feel free to watch all of us. We watched maybe 5 minutes of it before the call started today. And at the beginning of the call, then I shared with you guys a video that I just made this morning, a few hours ago, put it up on YouTube. I think I called it Pool Funding Prosperity Practice. And it basically gives us all like a thing that we can do every day in order to create the realization of what we'd like, what all of us in pool funding would like to see pool funding become. Okay. We'd like to see pool funding reach its price targets, have stable pricing and growing by millions of people. We all like that to happen. That'd be a good thing for everyone here. And we can actually each kind of contribute on more than one level. It's not just how much you can put in money-wise. That's definitely a big help. But you can also contribute to the affirmation of what we're doing. So I was also mentioning that I've been using I am affirmations now for a while, and I found them to be quite helpful, especially like approaching a staircase, and I come to the realization as I take that first step, my age will start to creep into my mind, like where am I going here? And then I need to stop thinking like that because that's not working for me, and I have to change my mind immediately and go, wait a minute, I am strong. Realize the task ahead of me is a staircase, and I need to take it on, right? So I am strong, and then like boom, like instantly, I got power that maybe wasn't there a microsecond before that, because I may be carrying some sort of another self-image along the way that maybe impacts me when I come up to a staircase, right? I'm looking at modifying some of my beliefs. I like to adopt to the belief I'm getting younger every day. Yeah, that'd be a good one, right? So I'm searching for a way to make that a solid one. But for now, I'm strong definitely works because I can handle a staircase if I'm strong. Anyway, the same thing with money, guys. Okay. You guys should say this with me right now. Say, um, I get more than enough money. So say those 6 words. I get more than enough money. Everybody unmute and say those 6 words.
I get more than
I
enough
get
money.
more than
I
enough
get more
money.
than
More than enough money.
I
More than
get
enough.
more than enough money.
I get more than enough money.
I get more than enough money. Now, I want you to go forward in time with that idea. Okay. So we can go backwards and we can say, thank God you're still breathing. You must have been able to afford to get to this point anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, you've had enough. You're still breathing, aren't you? So, but in addition to that, if we go with the idea of, I get more than enough money going forward, that could mean a lot more as we kind of tune into what we're trying to do here in pool funding. Okay, because maybe our objectives and what we want to accomplish and fulfill while we're here on the planet moving forward, those might expand. And as that expands, we're going to have enough money for that. Does that make sense, guys? Right? So the idea,
Yes.
I get more than enough money, right? I get more than enough money. That can be, at any level, right? Survival, the very bottom, to, if you're trying to run a multi-billion-dollar project, and you have more than enough money to get it done, right? No problem. So it can be everything in between. So, um, the video kind of shows a, tacking, a couple of affirmations into the process of making your daily payment. When you go to click that green button, what if you got in the habit of, as you're clicking that green button, you would say to yourself, you could say it silently, but it's actually more powerful if you open your mouth and let the words come out, right? If you open your mouth and say, I am loved, okay, when you're clicking that button, it'll give everything we're doing here more meaning. Kind of like when you pray over a meal. Would you guys agree that can be a powerful practice when you pray over a meal? Isn't that a powerful practice? Yeah. So this could be kind of the same thing. You're tapping into, I'll just call it the supernatural, right? So you're going to tap into the supernatural while you're doing your daily activity. You're going to do it anyway. And wouldn't it be a great reminder every day just that you need to tell yourself that you're loved by saying, I am loved, right? Let me tell you something. Probably the darkest place you can find yourself is somewhere where you think that you're not loved. Okay? No one wants to go there. Yep, I know a lot of people they fear being alone, right? So why? Maybe because if they're alone, then that also means that they're not loved, right? Things like that. So those could be dark places and places we don't want to go. And I think it's a good idea to realize the connection between love and everything that you really think is a beautiful, great, good thing. More money, more prosperity, abundance, more happiness, more joy, more, right? More life, more opportunity, the power to give, power to share, power to care, right? Can all come from love. And see, it's very easy to see that you're a channel that you can say, I am loved. And that can also mean that you love, right? That you can cast out the love. You can take love and you can push it through, and that others are filling your love, right? And you just become a beam of light and love to the world. And I want you guys to realize just how powerful that will make you. So take abundance, lots of money, and lots of love, and put the two together. Can you see the same possibilities I see? Right? It's very different. Very different. We take a derivative of fear, which is greed. Okay. We take greed and combine it with money. So much different feeling, isn't it? Much different outlook, isn't it? Right? When you combine that derivative of fear with money called greed, okay, you get something different. You take an abundance of plenty of money with love feels better, right? Am I right? Would you guys agree I'm right
Yes.
about this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay. So we have to start looking at things in their,
Yes.
uh, mm, the complexity of the packaging, right? It's not just one thing. Life is actually a blend of multiple things. Okay. And you're the one in charge of your life. So maybe you should put the right things in the blender. Okay. Plenty of money, plenty of love, right? Plenty of the stuff that you want. Okay. And it's a good thing. If you're pushing that green button and it says pay now, but as you're clicking that button, you're saying, I am loved. And you go to the next pull, I am loved. And you go to the next pull, I am loved. There, you've done it 3 times in a matter of seconds. You have put out to the universe that you're loved. Now, let me tell you something. They're listening. What? Who's listening? Well, I mean, we all have kind of different ways of looking at the who is, right? Some might say, well, the universe is listening. Or some might say, source is listening. Or some might say, a heavenly father is listening, right? Or Jesus is listening. Or Allah, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? The fact is, they're listening when we say, I am loved. Isn't that true? Because from
Yes.
that divine heavenly realm, their awareness is flawless. Okay? And that goes for you. You goes for you. The awareness coming from the divine is complete. Like there's nothing hidden. They see everything. Right? And the beautiful thing is, regardless of all the, whatever you want to say, your shortcomings, your flaws, your, bad habits, okay? In spite of all of those things, you are absolutely loved from the divine. How many of you agree with that statement?
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I agree.
Doesn't matter. I mean, we could go extreme. We could use names like Hitler. Was Hitler loved by the divine? Well, of course. Same, right? Now, there might be a bunch of us down here that might hate him, but that's not really the case from the divine point of view. Okay. But the bottom line is that we see things differently than the divine. And that's why it's good to know that you're loved from the divine. And why is that? Because the divine has got the power to get into your life if you let it. And it can actually create situations, encounters, possibilities, bring about ideas, inspiration. There's a whole array of things that the divine can do to come in and assist you on having the life that you are choosing to have. See, the divine respects your choice. See, if you want to wallow in fear, the divine will allow you to wallow in fear because that's your choice, right? And it'll let you have the full experience of wallowing in fear. You'll get to enjoy the full measure of misery that comes from wallowing in fear because it's an experience. And if that's what you want to go through, the divine's going to let you, okay? But when you get tired of that, okay, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, okay, then you wake up and go, wow, if it will let me do that, maybe it'll let me do the other side. Maybe it'll let me experience great moments of joy and happiness, and maybe I can have a life that's meaningful and have and have things and build things and create things and actually maybe become important, maybe become somebody, maybe become recognized, maybe I could turn into an influencer. Maybe I could, well, where's the limits here? Okay. I don't see any limits. There really isn't any limits. It's really just what you choose, isn't it?
Come
So, with enough love and money, just imagine the possibilities. Imagine how great life could be, if you're creating this life. In other words, take a little more responsibility for your life. I mean, should I be responsible for your life? Or should you be responsible for your life? Who do you want in charge of your life? You want you to be in charge of your life, or do you want me to be in charge of your life? You guys tell me.
I want me to be in charge.
Okay, I'm hoping you say you.
Yeah, me to be in charge.
the in charge.
I mean, I know you can trust me, but not with your life, okay? Let me have you each trust yourself with your own lives, okay? I'm just here as a voice and maybe a voice of reason, perhaps. But you know, I hope I can steer you in the right direction so that you can see who you really are and maybe wake up to what you are and realize that, wow, there's great power here. What can we do with that? You know? So click on that button and say, I am loved. Do that every day and get in the habit of doing that. Okay. Every day. And let me tell you something. Every time you click that button and go, I am loved, I can guarantee you one person will for sure shout back immediately saying, that's true. I love you. And you know who that is? Your sponsor. Okay. Okay. You click that button and say, I am loved. I guarantee you, your sponsor said, you're right. I love you. Okay. Thank you for sending me the $100. Thank you for sending the 10 and the one. Thank you. And yes, you are loved. Your sponsor will love you. And of course, the sponsor will feel the same way and on all the way up to yours truly here. So that's just on the earthly plane. But I'm telling you, you go to the divine plane on all this, you start looking at it from the heavenly point of view, and you start realizing that, you know, the closer we get to the currency of the next life, the better off we're going to be here. You know, in the next life, it's random acts of kindness is the currency that they use in the next life. Okay. Random acts of kindness. Okay. Imagine where that's the currency. That's called heaven. Okay. Well, we're going to get there. This is kind of like, you know, we're going that direction here with what we're doing in pool funding. And then go back to the fact that I get enough money. You know, I get more than enough money. Actually, you got to include that word more because that's an important word. It's not good enough just to say I get enough. I really think we need that word more, don't you? I get more than enough money. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. So, you know, get in the habit of, you know, buying at least $1 worth of coin every day. And when you do that, say that out loud. I get more than enough money. Because you know, it's going to immediately multiply with the way that we're currently, you know, the way our, what you call it, you know, our liquidity is set up. I mean, you're not just getting $1 worth of coin. You're going to see the price shoot up by way more than $1. You know, I think I did $1 today, and I think I saw the price go up $2,000 on the what you call the PFG coin. All right, so I bought $1 worth, and the price moved $2,000. That's a great multiple right off the bat. Not to mention, if everybody starts to do that, if we imagine thousands of us paying $1 a day, and then that turns into tens of thousands, which will lead into millions later, but every day, just how that would create the stability we all want. We want our coins to have price stability. Am I right about this, guys?
Yes.
Those of you that are wells,
Yeah.
do you want us to have price stability?
Yes.
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 Okay. Yeah, you want price
Yes.
stability. Well, let's encourage the entire community to maybe do this daily practice of buying $1 worth of coin, their choice. They can choose up every day which one they want to buy. Just, you know, we're only saying $1. If you want to do more, you can do more. Okay. I'm just at least $1. So everybody does at least $1 every day. And then while they're doing it, just have the affirmation that as you're doing this, you know, it's a contribution, right? As you're doing this contribution, you are saying, I get more than enough money, so that contribution feels light. It doesn't have any heaviness to it. It doesn't feel like a burden or a cost, but more like an investment in yourself. That's really what you're investing in, by the way. At the end of the day, in pool funding, you are investing in you. And if you haven't figured that out, what's taking you so long? Wake up. Look at how this is all structured. This is structured for you to win. And that goes for all of you. So invest in yourself and just keep saying, I get more than enough money. And before you know it, that will mean millions of dollars, and later on, tens of millions of dollars. And at some point, it's just whatever is enough. Some people, they don't need it to go all the way to billions for them to feel like they've got a life that's fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Some people are quite happy in the millionaire arena, and like that's good enough. And they can feel like they can have a very fulfilling and satisfying life as a millionaire. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Even some people less than that, and still feeling very satisfied with their life. But that's the main thing, is that
Thousand.
we want to encourage people to have that satisfaction. Go ahead, Willie.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'd be happy with 1,000 there.
A thousandaire, right? That's a good start, right? So moving from a thousandaire upward to 10,000aire, right? So so on and so on.
Yeah.
But you'll get there. Oh, so someone's asking, what is a well? A well is someone that is in the top 50 of our coins. So if you look at the holders, I'll just share my screen. Share screen. So for example, if I go to, got to get over here. Let me go to PFB. So here's our PFB chart, currently sitting at 18,362. Over here it says PFB holders. And if you click on that, you're going to end up getting this here, the holders. And it tells us that we have 1 million of those PFB coins. That's the total amount. There's currently 1,877 holders. And then each page here has got 50. So if you want to be a well, you got to be on the first page. Okay. So these are the addresses right here. So these are the different addresses. And each one of these is a well. So if you look at, for example, this is a contract. So that's not technically a person, right? Because it's a contract, right? See, it's the only one that has a little paper looking thing on the front of it there. Like the others don't have that. There's another contract down here. Okay. But setting the contracts aside, you see someone here's they've got 33% of a single coin, and that makes them a well in PFB, and they don't even have a whole coin, but yet they're a well, right? So just if you go to the bottom of it here, bottom 50, here's someone with just a little bit over 3% of a coin, and they are also a well. Because our coins are high priced for a reason. We want this to last 100 years. Okay, that's the reason why we got high pricing. I'm gonna have a meet. I'm gonna do a training specifically on that coming soon. I want you guys to go understand the mathematics and why the prices have to be so high. Okay, but should be kind of obvious. But I'll drill it down in another training. We'll go deep on it. So anyway, to answer your question about who's a well, so we have 4 coins, and if you have at least one position in the top 50 on any one of those 4 coins, you are considered a well. Okay, you'd be considered a well. And wells have rewards and benefits and perks and privileges beyond everybody else in the community. So it's very special to be a well. We encourage everyone to shoot for it. Take your best shot at becoming a well for sure. Just tell yourself that you deserve it and go get it. Because right now, price is low. If you want to take advantage of a low price to enter into that space, become a well in pool funding. All right, so I want you guys to realize this training was maybe not so technical, like pool funding aspects, but it has to do with probably the thing that makes money move more than anything. Because the mechanics, our website, the blockchain technology, all these different little technicalities. That's not really what moves money, guys. Okay. You guys want money to move into your possession so you're able to do something with it, right? So that's what you want. If you want that to happen, then understanding some of these philosophies, if you want to call it that, or spiritual aspects is kind of how I look at it. I see these more of a supernatural spiritual thing, and you're tapping into the unseen world. You don't see with your eyes, okay? Not these eyes. You're tapping into something that is powerful, and nothing more powerful than love, by the way. Love is the Almighty, okay? Nothing more powerful. When you tap into that and you realize that you are just as deserving as the next person to be loved by the divine and by everyone else, as far as that goes too, why not? But certainly from the divine, you know that if you're being helped by something powerful like that, there's no stopping you. You become unstoppable. Then it's just a question then of choice on your part on which that you shall pursue. What are you going for? Right? What is your objective? If you're going to be unstoppable, then why not pick something that excites you? Why not pick something that you can get really passionate about? Right? In other words, stop looking at life like it's, you jumped on somebody else's roller coaster and you're being taken for a ride and you're just being whipped around and confused and dazed and maybe a little bit upset by the end of it. Stop looking at it like that, right? Instead, realize that all you got to do is grip that steering wheel with your hands and go. You got this. Okay? Believe in yourself. Believe you are loved. Believe you're connected to great power, even divine power, and that nothing can stop you. That is when you have clarity as to what you're going for, that the way is going to be made possible. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy or free or it's going to be, without some grit or without some effort on your part. Okay? You might have to climb over a wall, or you might have to, go under something or around something, maybe even bust through something, have a breakthrough. But it doesn't matter. The fact is that the way is there and you're connected to something supernaturally powerful. And it's in here, by the way. If you're looking for it, don't look for it out here. Okay. That's where you get confused. You want to find it, zero in right there. Go into yourself, go right in there, get into the I am center there, realize, yeah, you've never been left alone, not even for a microsecond. You've always had company, okay? Even if you forgot, even if you're not aware, you never have been left to yourself, ever. Not even a microsecond. None of you. You've had the divine with you. It's always been with you, and it's never going to go away. So once you figure that out, that it's there, and you have as much right to it as anybody else to say, okay, what can we do here? Then you search and you start to ask, well, okay, what excites me? What makes me happy? What makes me want to get up in the morning? What do I want my days to look like? What would make me feel fulfilled? What would make me feel like my life has meaning? Like I got a purpose for being here. And when you get to those questions to yourself and you start hearing answers coming back, I don't know, some of you it might be music, some of you it might be art, maybe it's for some science, some business. I mean, the answers come in all flavors because that's you. And you're not all the same. Okay. You're all different that way. Right. I mean, I know we got Karen Stoyles here. Do you mind if I pick on you a little bit, Karen?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Karen likes to write books. Am I right, Karen?
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, you're very excited about writing books. It's something that you chose to do and you did it and nobody stopped you from doing it. And you're just, and sometimes you get writer's block, but that doesn't stop you from the desire to write books, does it? You still have that desire, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
How many books have you written so far?
8.
So you've written 8 so far. Are they all mysteries or not?
No, there's romance, mystery, a little bit of fantasy.
Okay, so you like to, okay, you're exploring. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Try something new. Always challenging myself.
And we can always find your stuff where on Amazon, or where do we go looking for your stuff?
On Amazon, yes.
Okay. So you
Or
should,
through my website, kastoyles.com.
there you go. See, I've given you
Shameless
guys
plug.
another reason to admire Karen Stoyles. Okay. Because she figured out what she's passionate about. She's figured out what she's excited about. She likes to write. It's the way she can express herself. And she likes the fun of it. I mean, writing a mystery, yeah, you have to have you have to have a certain way of thinking in order to even be able to create a mystery. Am I right? Am I right, Karen? There's twists and turns if you're doing a good mystery, right?
Definitely. And sometimes the story doesn't end up the way you intended it to, but that's part of the journey.
Yeah, sometimes it's just the flow, and you don't even have a clear where you're going to land. You just know at some point it lands, and it's like, go for it.
That's right. Sometimes I'm sitting at the keyboard and my fingers go one direction, and I say, "Oh, that's different." Let's explore
Exactly.
that and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I would say that that expression is definitely a result of the divine, that you've tapped into something divine, and it's really coming through in your writings and stuff like that. So, congratulations on all of that.
Thank
And
you.
so
Thank you.
we want to see this happen for everybody. Everybody should be able to be, somebody, everybody should have, something that, is exciting, right? We didn't come down here to be bored, did we? We didn't come down here to be miserable, did we? That's not why we're here.
Can I
Come
just
on,
add
guys.
something to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
Don't be afraid to try something. Try something different because you never know how it's going to work out for you. And if you don't try it, you may regret that you never took the chance on it. And you'll be amazed at what you can do when you put the effort in and challenge yourself.
I love it. And the fact is that there's the flip side, and she mentioned the word regret. What a horrible thing, right? Come on, guys. Don't end up in regret. That's a terrible place to go. Come on. We can do better than that. Just remember that you're loved. That's your starting point. How about that, guys? You can do a reminder every day by clicking that button 3 times. And every time you click that button, you say, I am loved. I am loved. I am loved. You get in the habit of doing that every day. For some of you, eventually it will sink in. Okay. Some of you need more time on that one for it to sink in that it's true. You are loved. And because of it, anything's possible. You can have anything. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. Have anything. Be anything. Because you are loved. And why not? Free will, baby. That's where it's at. We're here. It's a free will thing. It's a mixed bag, it's not all perfect, like a rose has its thorns. Okay. But learn to accept that. It's okay. Right. But the bottom line is when you connect money to love, the result is far better than connecting money with greed. I hope that's the one thing you get out of today, that you need to connect money to love. Okay? Do it. Connect money to love. I promise you, you can't go wrong if you do that. Okay? Because money is just another resource. It's another thing, right? Just like another brick or another whatever, It's just something else. And the fact is that when you look at the money, it's the one thing on this earthly plane that is truly infinite and unlimited. I mean, they create the stuff out of thin air, literally. Okay, it's unlimited on how much can be made, and there's more of it floating around today than there ever has in the history of mankind. Okay. So it's just crazy what we're living through right now. And so with it being that much, why would we accept the idea that we don't get enough? Right? We're being sold on something we don't want here. Okay. So change your mind and realize that you are deserving. Full funding provides you a platform to, you're getting access to leverage. Okay, leverage, like, I mean, people would pay, cut off their right hand to have this kind of leverage. Okay, we're just giving it away for free. You're getting amazing leverage by being part of pool funding. So with all that leverage and with the right mindset, with your heart in the right place, with everything lining up as it should, okay, by showing up to the training like you have, then it should all work out. And I'm telling you, millionaire status is there for all of you, right? And it shouldn't take more than a year. Really shouldn't. So I'm looking forward to us to start popping out, as Willie said, the 1,000aires, right? So we'll pop those out, then we'll pop out the 10,000aires, but it'll that's where we're heading. So next week we're going to have our PDF. We're just this week we'll have the PDF, and then next week we're going to roll out the new system. But you'll have a couple of days to study the PDF on the website, on how the whole new system works with the one click, and what the old members will do, what the new members will do, blah blah. All that's going to be coming out. So just know these updates, like I've been telling you about, they're all happening. And July is going to be an exciting month. I'm very excited about what we're going to accomplish in the month of July. So I'll take one or two questions, and we'll call it a training. So you can just
Okay.
unmute if you got a question. Go ahead. No questions. All right, there you go. All right, great. Okay, well, see, excellent comments here. Very good
I have a
comments.
question.
That'd be from Charles. Hello, Charles. How are you?
Good. How you doing today?
Super duper.
Hey, how do you keep your people fired up besides us having these meetings? But the people that's coming in, how do you get them motivated?
Well, this is an excellent question, Charles. And it comes back to the classic. You need to know their why, right? See, people have different why they do stuff, right? So you want to figure that out usually within the first week of signing somebody up. You need to ask them point blank, what's really motivating you here? Is it more cash flow, or is it getting out of debt? Is it building a better retirement? It's probably going to fall in one of those three categories. So that's a good starting point. And once you know that, then you can be that guy that reminds them that this is why they're doing what they're doing. And if a person realizes just how simple this is, a couple of minutes a day, it shouldn't take them long to go from a point of like this, doing the activity every day to the point where they're making more money in 2 minutes than what they're making at a job that they were doing before. When you get to that point, then it should be, you shouldn't have to motivate them any further. They got it from that point, right? So you just have to kind of, just the beginning. But does that help you, Charles? Uncover their why.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious, just having a hard time, getting these people to lock in. That's all.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's always good to figure out what a person wants, right? So sometimes you can ask crazy questions like, if someone just, gave you a suitcase full of, $1 million, free and clear, tax free, you could do whatever you want with $1 million. What would you do with it, right? And if they do the classic, well, I'd invest it. Well, then go deeper. Well, invest it in what? you know, right? Drill down on that. And
For
that will
sure. Thank you.
that'll tell you a lot. So
Yeah.
let me tell you a secret about people. Okay. This is one you should all pay close attention to. People don't care what you know until they know how much you care. Okay. People don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And Charles, I think that's the number one thing we can all do as sponsors is make sure that our referrals know just how much we do care about them getting the results that they want for themselves. And that we're here as their sponsor to support that and that will at least match them on their own effort, right? If they
For
put
sure.
in this, you'll put in this. If they put in this, then you'll be down here. It won't be none of this. They put that in and you put that in. That's
Right.
unequally yoked, right? That's not yoked properly, right? So
Exactly.
match them. Just let them know wherever you're at, I'll match you. Okay. And that they're,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
and just let them know they're loved and cared for and that you sincerely want them to be successful because your success kind of depends on their success, right? The only way
Right.
you're going to get into the $1,000 pool and stay there is if they're in there with you. Okay. I
Exactly.
mean, right.
Exactly.
And everybody wants to be
Yep.
rolling in $1,000 bills, don't we? Yeah. So,
For sure. For sure.
all right. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Charles. Where are you from, by the way? Trying to pick up the
I'm
accent.
from Mile High City, Denver, Colorado.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Denver, Colorado, born and
Really?
raised.
You born and raised in
Yep.
Denver. Okay. Well,
Yep.
I grew up in Longmont, but
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
But
Cool
when
spot.
when
It's
I was in
busy up there now.
Colorado, the accent was a little bit more like this, So
Yeah.
I guess I guess I hear the accent there a little bit, but
Yeah, you
I
hear it.
I remember my natural voice was more like this when I was from Colorado, like
Right.
Then I went to
Right.
California and the pitch went up, so
Right. Right.
anyway, thanks for being on the call today, Charles.
For sure. For
All
sure.
right,
Thank you.
great way to wrap up from my home state of Colorado. It's a beautiful state. I don't think there's a more beautiful state, honestly. I'm gonna just say Colorado is the most beautiful state out of the 50. And that's just my opinion, of course. But go there and find out for yourself. It's just amazing mountains and all that. All right. So let's just wrap it up here, guys. Thank you all for coming to another one of our co-founder trainings. And we'll be back here on Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another co-founder training. This weekend, we're gonna, be putting out the PDF. So be looking for that on both the Telegram group as well as the website. Study it, be ready for the change. It's coming. And whether you're ready or not, it's going to happen. So I hope most of you will be ready by the time we make this change. And yes, we will start taking pictures that will be included in the PDF to kind of show you what that'll be like. So just be aware. All the things we said that were going to happen, they're about to happen now. Okay, they're right. It's right about now. So unless I'm wrong, unless somehow we failed the testing period, which the executives are going to help us on the testing period. But I don't, from what I can tell, I don't see how it's going to get messed up. So I think it looks good to me. Everything I've seen so far looks like it's going to be a solid rollout. Okay. So that being said, you guys can all unmute now and say, see you later. Bye for now.
See you later. Bye for
Bye
now.
for
Bye
now.
for now.
See you later. Bye for now.
Bye.
See you later. Bye for now.